I have learned more in 26 years of any course that I've taken. I use it every single day. Every single patient has reflexes that aren't integrated. My clinic, everybody pulls me aside and they'll pull me into their sessions going, please help us. What is the reflex that they're missing? We need a home exercise program. I'm pulled daily to treat other kids and help these other OTs. Those moments are the best. My name is Tiffany Sinovic. I'm an occupational therapist and I have been for 26 years. I got my degree at Washington University School of Medicine in St. Louis, Missouri. And that's where I started my OT life. And then I moved to Michigan. So I've been here for 10 years. I initially started out deciding I wanted to be an OT because I worked for an optometrist and thought I wanted to be an eye doctor. And they had vision therapy in the basement. And I started helping out the optometrist down there and loved it and realized that's what I want to do. And I didn't know how to go about it. There is a vision therapy certification you can get, but I was so young at the time. I was like just going into college, didn't know if I wanted to stay in just that realm. So I went and got my OT degree. And when I did that, there wasn't a big call in vision therapy 26 years ago. You couldn't make a full time job living at that. So my first occupational therapy job was in outpatient ortho and work hardening. And then at night, I would do vision therapy. And I did that for 19 years. And I just only did about 6 hours a week because that's all they had. And then I just had my full time job as my OT during the day. And then when I moved here, I worked about 25 hours a week as a vision therapist, OT, for a neuro behavioral optometrist, which introduced me to reflexes and vision. And once I was there for about 5 years, I wanted to do more and I got into Neuro Pediatric Clinic. That's where I am now as the lead OT. And there's just so much to know about reflexes and it's so hard to find. You can do online classes, you can do your own research, but I wanted to know how to do it right. And the clinic I'm at is a neuro-based clinic where we believe in the foundation when you start working with therapy or with patients. And the foundation is like, in the brain where you have to have a solid foundation before you could move up to bilateral coordination and executive functioning and all these things. If this foundation isn't tight, none of this will click or it will take a lot longer. So I got into researching reflexes. And then I saw Kokeb's books. And Kokeb's books, they were everything to me. I have every single book. I had every single book. All the other OTs and OTAs in my clinic, they all have their own set because mine were getting so used and the pages were getting bent and we were just sending them out. So everybody has a copy of these books. I started following her online. Opportunity came up for the research program. I wanted to do the certification first so I could learn what I needed to learn. My clinic was the perfect place because I have all my patients that I treat twice a week, an hour at a time. There's just so many reflexes that weren't integrated. And I'm like, how I need my patients in this so I can do it correctly. And Kokeb got right back to me. I cannot be more grateful for this opportunity to do this with her because I have learned more in 26 years of any course that I've taken. This course, I use it every single day. I use it with every single patient, not just the ones that are in the research program. Every single patient has reflexes that aren't integrated. It's very rare I get all negatives when I'm testing. So now that I've got this in my hands, I'm trying to teach my OTs at my clinic. Everybody pulls me aside and they'll pull me into their sessions going, please help us. What is the reflex that they're missing? How do I show? And we need a home exercise program. And that is why I'm in this. And like, I've been known, like I get pulled all the time. I'm pulled daily to treat other kids and help these other OTs get them on the right path. So I just couldn't be more thankful for what I'm doing right now.
Okay. So if I was going to ask you what was the most valuable thing you learned during the program, what would it be?
Probably there's so many things that you have to kind of understand. It's not hard, but you have to understand it. So it's how to stimulate the reflex, how to check it. Then it's how to passively go through the motor planning and how to complete that with the child. And then there's the active motor plan movements that you can send home with them to do on their own. It's knowing what I'm looking for and how I can now tell just in the way they're moving, not even me stimulating the reflex, I can look at that child and say, check that. That's something's going on there. And I could never do that before. I would always have to go through the stimulations and like see, and like I can see a kid across the room now and say, check Babkin. His mouth's open as he's writing. Check that. And then it's always like, there you go. I mean, we need to start working there. Check Moro. Moro's not right. I mean, he can't flex his upper or lower body are working as one unit. You know, it's like you can just, I feel like my expertise has grown in this past 9 months with Kokeb. Like, I don't think I would ever have gotten there. Like, not even years and years and years, because what she knows is crazy. And the way that she explains it to you is so relatable. It's not these medical jargon. It's like, look at your kiddo that you've got there. Just look. And then she'll describe exactly why it's happening and what's happening. And it all makes sense.
So, can you share a specific moment or exercise from the training that really stood out to you?
I think the first moment that really stood out for me when I was starting to work with my research kids, I was doing it with the other children too, just as I could, but not as in depth as with the research kids. This little boy just came in and mom had said he was 7 and he still wets the bed. And what can they do? And so I'm thinking, it's got to be spinal glunt. There's something's got to be there. He tested positive for that retained reflex. And I started doing exercises with him. And 2 weeks later, he never wet the bed again. 2 weeks. Impossible. I mean, this is something parents dream of. And I think it's one of the big ones that they get because these little kids are not able to have sleepovers. They're embarrassed. They're sad. They're angry. This kid in 2 weeks, I've never seen anything happen that fast. I was just like, whoa. And then she just came in and like walked through the lobby and gave me a hug. And she's like, I don't know what you did, but thank you. And I've had other moments that have been great. That was the one that was just like, and this was right towards the beginning of the program that I had started. And I'm like, I really got to lean into this hardcore and teach everyone.
I love that. I think some people are really surprised by how quickly they're integrated when you know what the right thing to do is.
It's amazing. Like when you just knock them off, the way she's got it set up, I was always working one reflex at a time and because I didn't want to overload the brain, but the way she has it set up in these phases, it's starting, and I always started with this specific reflex or this specific exercise. And so like Moro, I would start with duck pigeon walks, and that's so advanced for the little ones that were Moro so out of whack. I didn't realize you need to start at phase 1. We just need to start at these very low level exercises that they can't do. And you're expecting them to do one of the most advanced. And that really opened my eyes because I can still work on Moro. I can work on ATNR and TLR in the same exact exercise. Like I can do an obstacle course and I'm hitting 3 exercises with 3 different movements. And I don't have to go that slow. You can go so much faster and you can help the child so much quicker that I didn't know was possible.
Awesome. Awesome. So, of all the tools, the books, the app, the game, which ones can you give me a feedback on which ones you're utilizing?
I always use the books constantly. And it's just because I want to listen because I like to hold it. I like to skim through. I like to look at, so I like to have it on my shelf where I can physically see it. But this app is insane. So, so this app, the thing I have to tell you about anybody who's going to be using the app, it gives you can download a playlist specifically for the child. You send it to the parent. They open it up. They have a video, they have written instruction, they have what you're looking for. I'll say the positive and the negative effects, or like if it's this is what you don't want to see, this is what you want to see when they're doing it. We can't give that much information in 5 minutes after I'm done seeing a patient at a clinic. I can't tell them all this and have them remember it and hand them a piece of paper going, do this. When they're watching it, they say the videos are everything because if I'm doing it wrong, I don't want to mess it up or why am I wasting my time? Just look at the video. And then there's kids that are 8, 9, all they want to do is be on their tablet. All they want to do is be on a phone. And if they can do it themselves, one is the autonomy of them being able to feel like they've got control. But two, they're watching Jeff on that video and they're like, I could do what he could do. And he makes it fun. And it's got quirky arrows and it's got fireworks and it's got, it keeps them interested and motivated in a way that we haven't seen before, I don't think, in any home exercise program, not even just with reflexes.
Excellent. So how do you find the parents are able to adapt using the app? Do you find it's pretty straightforward for them?
Oh, yes, very much so. Because we now at the app, you can pull up their playlist and you can just like, if they've met one and it looks beautiful, hit that trash can, it's gone, and I put in a new one. And it just updates immediately. I just resend it to their phone. They get in, the playlist is updated. They love it. And like, I'll come out of session, I'm doing the app while their child is being treated. And when they come out, they're like, got it. So I went through them all. I go, do you have any questions? Nope. Got it. We're good. And I'm like, all right, see you next week.
Awesome. So did you find in the past, were the parents able to continue doing things that you were doing with your, how difficult was that in the past before the
It was more difficult, I think, because they feared they weren't one, if I had a very compliant parent, and a lot of them are, but a lot of them are, if I had a very compliant parent, they would just be afraid that, okay, well, she didn't tell me how many times to do it or how long to do it. Kokeb has given us the resources of these charts where they can check off how many days a week they did it. So, one, they feel more compelled because they can just be like, oh, yeah, we did it. We did some. But they're checking off on a physical form for me. And so I can see how many days they've done it. And then they'll even go into depth in the bottom saying unable to turn, feet in, unable to motor plan without hand over hand movements. Like they really are getting more into it because they have more responsibility and they don't want to come to therapy the next week and be like, oh, didn't do it this week. I am making them accountable. So by giving, like before, I'd be like, just do this as much as you can. And then the parents would come in. I'll be like, how many times did you do it? Like, oh, we tried. Not so great this week. But now I can see like, okay, they were on vacation. They did it once. Or they did every single day and they were done by, they've done every single day. They were done. I was able to get rid of that exercise, put in a new exercise to help integrate the reflex and go forward. And they just see the change. These 6 families are just so invested and they see the change in their child. That's why they keep doing it. I mean, they see the progress when I say, okay, you did it. This one's gone. They get a new one. They feel like they did it. They are like, yes, my son did it. I did it. He no longer has that problem. And we're just that much closer to integrating and, having less academic stress, less behaviors, the self-regulation changes, the motor planning.
It definitely sounds like a win-win between therapist, child, and parent.
It is. It does not cause any extra like stress on the parent. It's not overwhelming at all, I don't think. I think if anything, it takes that stress off their shoulders that they can really know what they're doing, really know why they're doing it, because that's all right there. Like, why are we doing this one again? Oh, yeah, well, that's why we're doing it. And then they will comply.
Right, right. So could you, I know this is difficult, but if you're thinking of the handful of kids that you had, that you were tracking for the research program, what do you think is the difference in time of them being able to integrate their reflex?
It's the amount of underlying issues. So, not necessarily the diagnosis. I'd say I have a little one that no diagnosis yet. She's only 3 and she's came in very low tone, would just walk and fall over. And she's just, I mean, she's still on our first level, but she couldn't do anything without me actually passively doing every reflex. And now, actually, on just yesterday, she asked me to take her to the potty because she had to go to the bathroom. And her mom, texted her mom, and I'm like, Maria just asked me to take her to the potty, and she cried. She's like, she's pregnant and she's having another baby in August. She's like,
Oh,
my goal was to have her potty trained by August, and she's never ever. She saw the potty and she cried. And
oh,
they practicing just even being in a room with a bathroom. And now she went to a public bathroom with me. She didn't go, but she sat there, she flushed, she washed her hands, and she just laughed the whole time. This is crazy. Yeah.
and those moments are the best, right?
When you see something, I have a little guy who wouldn't even hold a pencil. And now I've got him in a tripod grasp. He's 4 and he's going to be going to kindergarten. And he's tracing all of his letters, top to bottom, sitting tabletop for 15 minutes and not even wanting to get up. It's like unheard of.
Completing this certification impacted the way that you personally work with children.
It's what I'll do first. It is what it's I brought it into all my evaluations. So I'm an OTR, so I do the evaluations for, a good majority of the clinic, and it is a section, it's a tab in our eval now. I've always like written in, I've done a quick stimulation of them to see what I need to work on, but this is different. My screening process has changed. What I'm looking at has changed. It has not caused my evals to go any longer than the hour that they usually take. It actually gives me a great place to where to start for goals. And I think for sure one goal, I mean, 90% of the time is reflex related. It's always that goal where you're not going to say, my goal is to integrate this reflex, but that goal is going to be a functional goal, but it's going to be one of those exercises to get to that functional goal. So that's probably my biggest takeaway is it's implemented in every eval I do.
Okay. That's huge. Wow. You've shared a number of success stories. I was going to ask you if you could share another success story. Do you have any other ones that you want to point out?
Oh, let me think. I've got so many. Oh, yeah. I've had really good luck with the Babkin. I have these little ones, and they seem to be like the littler ones that are still drooling, and their clothes are covered in drool because they're trying so hard and their mouth is open. And so now it's so cute because they'll sit at the desk and we put the tongue depressor in their mouth and they just color and they hold it as long as they can. So now I actually have a little one who can drink out of a straw and can blow bubbles and could not blow every time they would suck in and they wouldn't blow. Right now, they're all looking great. Both of them look like all of their dryness and sores are gone and their mouths are closed. It also helps when they're not chewing on their clothes, they're not chewing on their fingers. Because there's one little guy that we would have to clean down the room because we got to sanitize everything because it's everywhere. But I would say that Babkin's a big success story because that's something that is noticeable to others, not just family. It's like, grandma's like, wow, look at him, like something's different, or he's no longer sucking on these things. And that's her last book that deals with the Babkin reflex and the Palmer reflex, hand supporting and hands pulling. And I recently got that a couple weeks ago, and I was already working on Babkin with these kiddos, but that just gave me like, 25 more activities to do, which everyone's now taking it from me because they haven't got theirs yet.
Well, that's good.
I had to
So,
put my name on it and label it.
so what would you say to another occupational therapist considering the certification in RITP?
100% do it if you can. My clinic offers CEU money, and I used all my credits for this or all my allocated money for this. And then I put in some too, because believe me, I mean, you're going to use it. It's worth it. I would recommend at least if you can get one person in your clinic to do it, if you have a big department. I know it's probably not fathomable for more than one one at a time, at least. Like, I don't think you're going to be able to have three of you guys doing this at the same time, just one for the CEU issue and for your clinic's issue. But if you could get one person to get this certification, help you out, like you got to have that go-to person. And I love that I'm the go-to person at our clinic. They call me the reflex guru. I am not, but I'm trying to be. But I feel so much more confident. Like before, people ask me stuff and I'm like, I would try this and I would try that. I know what I'm doing now. Like I know what I want them to do. And I'll just give them all the downloads that you get from Kokeb, all of the resources that you get they're just, I mean, you don't want to ever lose those. So they'll be used for me for the rest of my career. So I really recommend it. Another thing with Kokeb, when you're in this research program, it is literally you're working with her. So it's not like you have this company that sent you a flyer and you're working with this big CEU company or something. She is on Zoom with you. If you DM her, you get DM'd back the same day. Any questions you have, she'll call. She likes my Facebook posts. Like she's very in it. Like she is in it for this. And she is so hands-on. I've never seen a clinician that was running something like this so passionate. and so available. And I don't even know how it's possible that she can be so available to so many people, but she is. And you're not, if you have any questions, she wants you to get it right because wants it to go well and wants it to be right. And she wants the kids to get, get the best benefit they can. And you'll see when you meet her, she's pretty great.
Awesome. That's great to hear. So, if you had to describe the Reflex Integration Through Play certification in 3 words, what would they be?
Okay, I got to get my right 3 words here. 3 words would be, okay, all encompassing of child development. Like, it is what you need to start with. And every child, it's not on, okay, so this is way more 3 words, but it's not that it's, oh, I wonder if this one has ever had primitive reflexes. We all have them. So it works with every patient. And if they're all integrated, that's fantastic. But I'm telling you, they're not. I kind of really love this. So I'm really
Yeah.
loving this program. I honestly do 100% believe this is the best class I've ever taken, the best certification I'll have. I'm like, I'll use it for wherever I am.
Right, right. Okay. Well, thank you so much, Tiffany.
You're welcome. No problem. Thank you very
Okay.
much. Bye,
Okay.
Tracy.
Bye bye.
Bye.